Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man, at your service. How are you all? Hope you're doing very well. Well, yes, this is the Dress Mackenzie. Full, rich, very red and white, two massively contrasting, elements, combining spectacularly to create quite an image as you're striding down the street, cutting a swathe through all onlookers. How are you all? It's now, October, and I am about to begin for you guys a real big horror onslaught. It'll be spearheaded by those infernal bloody masks when they turn up. By the way, after doing that previous video saying, well, they might turn up, they might not turn up, one might arrive, I'll be waiting for the others, they're all on the way, all of them. And they might even arrive today. FedEx, it's FedEx next day delivery. So, and I've been tracking them, and currently these masks are all residing, according to the tracking device, Track and Trace, don't you know, in Liverpool. So probably literally as the crow flies, about 4 or 5 miles from where I'm sitting right now. But they're scheduled for delivery on Monday, 2 days henceforth. That isn't next day delivery, is it? I'm hoping that's just the official sort of time slot, and they are going to arrive today. Anyway, we do have something to show you. An arrival, courtesy of my friend and your good friend, Steve 007 Smith, a regular contributor to the channel. And he's been up to his usual tricks again. He sent me a sort of coded message that there's a little package on the way to you. Did you all hear that? This is the awesome score to the film Ravenous. Yes, Robert Carlyle and everybody else becomes cannibalistic, sort of infected people, and it's just, they can't die either. It's a supernatural take on the Donna Pass incident. Anyway, but Damon Albarn did a fabulous soundtrack to it, which is so bizarre, and Michael Nyman combined. I have done a video on that soundtrack as well, I think, in the past. But anyway, he sent me something now, and again, I don't know what it is. His coded message was, well, it's to do with something you showed us. I have to try and guess these things and try to play the appropriate music, because it's going to be movie related or have some kind of genesis in a movie type thing, which I can then bestow upon you, the music of such delight. But I don't know what it is. I mean, it's something I've shown you. Well, there's something like 800 videos. I've shown you a lot of things. So I'm kind of thinking, well, I've done a bit on Star Trek lately, and I've done a bit on the Mummy, that mummy mask. So to go in line with this, because I don't think it's anything to do with Ravenous. And it's also any excuse to play James Horner's music from Star Trek. Right now, Steve's going, oh, it isn't Star Trek, mate, it isn't Star Trek. But we'll see. So let's go for the nice build-up of Kirk's explosive reply from James Horner's score for Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. It supplies a nice build-up. Over here, over yonder, is said package. Yeah, the exquisite, obvious design of Red Bull. You order stuff, and you can see the postman coming down the street, and he's got this, he puts his hand, you go, oh, that's my package. So, I'm wearing something that Steve bought for me from Redbubble only recently, a vest with American Werewolf emblazoned upon it. So, because of the feel of this, I'm going alongside another vest. Maybe. Could be wrong. It could be a tea towel. It could be a hairnet. See, I'm doing that thing of feeling around it, and your at card, that'll be the receipt or the little shipping notice inside, won't it? And what I'll do is I'll open this and I'll hold it so that you guys can see it first. And it'll probably be upside down and inside out and all sorts of things, so. Here's the build up. won't look inside. Oh. He's doubled up again. It's two things. It's two things. Okay, that is definitely the back. There's nothing on it. Coming through now, Steve. I didn't think of that at all, did I? US 7th Cavalry, yes. Again, regular viewers will know that that's a huge fascination of mine. The American Plains Indian Wars, the Sioux and Cheyenne, Custer's Last Stand, and the 7th Cavalry Cross Sabres. Now, that is a company there. 7th Cavalry. And a beautiful, absolutely iconic image. Many despise it, you know, the cross sabres denotes genocide, a horrible extremist doctrine that governments impose, occupying governments usually, on indigenous, you know, people living in a country. Wipe them out, wipe them out. My country, Britain, has done that many times, and the US certainly did it. But you know, I don't blame the basic soldier, the ass in the grass grunt who's carrying out orders. And I love the imagery as well. That is resplendent and nice and blue as well. Blue. Now, of course, I can go on to some US cavalry music. Of course I can. Of course I can. So what should we do? What should we do? Just give me a sec, chaps. This is Errol Flynn, and They Died With Their Boots On. Telling the story of Custer's Last Stand in a very sort of glamorous, Hollywood sensationalized interpretation. Here's Garry Owen, which genuinely was, you know, the Celtic folk tune, folk ditty that Custer did imbue his troops with. They would march out to this. It became their theme. Cheers, Steve. But we're not finished yet. Let's put that there. Okay, I can feel that the print is on that side. Okay. Redbubble stuff is fantastic, folks. I've said before many times, if you go on their site, you'll see all these gorgeous images. And like, artists put their stuff forward, graphic artists, you know, painters, whatever. They create the image, and then when the order comes through, Redbubble go, right, we need that image you supplied there, putting on a vest and sent or whatever, and do it. So it might take a few days for it to be done. So you've got that personalised touch each time. Okay. So what's this going to be? Is this going to be like an Indian headdress? Because I like to even things up. If you know me, you know I very often wear a US Cavalry belt buckle, a genuine one as well. And alongside that, I'll have Sioux Indian feathers in my hair to keep that balance. My respect for both cultures. Right, it's on that side. Is that upside down? Yeah, I need to get the straps. Okay. Yeah, that's the back. Right. Is that blue or black? I can't tell. The Battle of Greasy Grass, Lieutenant Colonel Custer's Last Stand, June 25th to June 26th, which of course, because Reno's battalion fought on overnight, 1876, and there is Sitting Bull. So he's balanced it up. Greasy Grass was an Indian term for the hills surrounding the Little Bighorn River. Now, why would someone choose to phone up at this time, at this really inopportune moment? And it says underneath, Sitting Bull, Hung Papa Lakota leader. He wasn't a war chief during the Battle of Little Bighorn. He was a spiritual leader. He had been a warrior in his time. He was also a great statesman. The US government recognised his talents and, you know, admired his skills, his oratory skills and his strategic mind as well, and his sense of, you know, injustice and how he literally bound together tribes that normally fought against each other. And he could talk peace as well. You know, he wanted to, you know, everyone to get along as best they possibly could. But he also was a great spiritual leader, which is the role he took for the Battle of Little Bighorn. He urged people, you know, today is a good day to die, you know, fight on, you know. And he inspired, you know, all the Native Americans to rise up. And it was a triumphant victory, of course, but it also spelled defeat, inevitably defeat for themselves. Because all that was going to do, after wiping out the most renowned US cavalry regiment in the business, and let's be honest, the 2nd Cavalry, that mystique around them, they hadn't really seen much action. They'd attacked a sleeping village in the middle of the night and killed many women and children. And then every other skirmish that they actually had until the Battle of Little Bighorn, the Battle of Greasy Grass, had been literally hit and run, where they'd be chasing spans of Sioux across the open plains and the hills, who would then scatter. A few shots would be fired. Nothing, no major contact until that infamous day. That's wonderful. Steve, mate, thanks so much. They are great. I mean, he has, people say, you know, that Sitting Bull had a very, very cruel face. Well, they do have, Native Americans have a very impassive and cold look, but they smile, you know, they have a laugh, they joke around, you know. But that image, that is taken from a very famous photograph of Sitting Bull, and of course, you know, he was having, you know, right, and you've got to wait for hours for them pictures to be taken, haven't you? And you got that explosion, the flash and all that, and keep still for 10 minutes, and you'd obviously be like, you might have started off going like that. But by the end of 10 minutes, you're kind of like that. So, and then, poof, it's done. But that's wonderful. I'm glad I kept that playing. Isn't it wonderful? It's a beautiful, romantic, upbeat and jovial motif and semi-fanfare. It is a march as well. Can be adapted so well, Garry Owen, because his regiment was known as the Fighting Garry Owens. I don't think they played it going into the Valley of the Little Bighorn though, since they were trying to retain the element of surprise. Didn't that work well? There he is. Isn't that great? I should put it on, shouldn't I? But I'll be honest, I'm going to put on the 2nd Cavalry. Do forgive this indulgent nudity. Because I have a little meeting today in a few hours' time, which is going to procure something very interesting for all of us, all concerned, and I think this will do the trick. Oh yes, Steve, thanks mate, thanks so much. The bugles are playing there. Charge! In that film, they're depicted with the sabres, they are charging with the sabres, and it's one of the best cinematic charges that I've ever seen. If you go back to that 1940 version of They Die With Their Boots On, Errol Flynn playing Custer, if you go back in my videos, you'll see I've actually got a copy of the original fringed buckskin jacket that Errol Flynn wore in the movie. And it's gorgeous too. And but when they charge, there's an overhead shot, an aerial view of the entire regiment sweeping across the plains, as following a decoy of Indians, and all of a sudden they go into the trap where the Indians are just coming from every direction around them. But when Custer, they come down a slight ridge, Errol Flynn, don't forget, who could ride exceptionally well, and they slide to a halt. Custer's horse, its arse goes boom on the hill and slides on its bum, and its front legs like that, and he's like, whoa, halt, dismount. Accompaniment, once you've dismounted, it's over. It's literally game over. You've removed your means of transport, your means of escape, your tactical means of what you are. Once you've dismounted, it's game over. But anyway, great film, great music by Max Steiner, great vest. Steve, great guy. I love it to bits. So there's a lot more to come. I've got a meeting in a couple of hours. I'm pointing at the clock up there. I've got a meeting in a couple of hours to discuss this sort of future project, which could be great, or I could fall flat on my big fat face, and that wouldn't be the first time now. But again, fingers crossed that that comes off well, fingers crossed that the masks all turn up. But anyway, folks, Steve, cheers, thanks so much. I absolutely love that. That's fantastic. And with the belt buckle as well, that's going to really good. And the tunic, I've got the tunic as well. So folks, please, in the meantime, and that misty-eyed, battle-fatigued in-between time, please be happy, be healthy, keep it kilted, keep it Celtic. And I am, indeed, going to see you all last minute movie quote quiz. Oh no, come all this bloody way to get shot by a bullet from Birmingham? Shoot straight, you bastards! And it's very similar to what we've just been discussing. What film was that from? Folks, take it easy now, y'all.